like build, except he's not 5'3" and has fish-eyed glasses and can't lift up, 2 keyboards like Best. Not that I have anything against Best. It's just that's the truth. Best is one scrawny kid. Um, anyway, there's the Stargate going up. Jangby's actually kind of tough. Outside of the booth, I've seen pictures of him. He actually looks kind of much more tough than he looks inside the booth, where he looks like he's just a very soft kind of fellow. But he actually looks all right outside. Anyway, there is the Arbiter Tribunal going up as expected. There is the Mantoss as expected, wearing that very nice black and blue outfit. I definitely like the new uniforms of the Air Force Ace team. It's kind of like a combination of Star Trek and like a ninja. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Actually, it doesn't really look like either, but it kind of has a Star Trek thing going on. Reach, of course, is putting up a third base here at the upper right. He's sealed it off with some pylons, and Nada. The question is whether Nada is gonna be able to scan this on time. We saw him just putting down his academy inside of his base, so this is a very early Arbiter build, and Nada has no idea until he scans it. Really, what is going on? And he probably is gonna get somewhat suspicious. Since Reach, of course, has not been attacking. But, it's going to be a little bit of a time before he can actually get something in there and manage to see it. And since Nada didn't go for Speed Vultures earlier or anything like that, he's really not going to be able to sneak in any scouts. Nada, meanwhile, has gone for pure tanks. This is interesting. Arbiters are actually pretty good against a tank-heavy build because tanks are so immobile. And without a lot of mines everywhere, it could be rough for Nada. Especially if Reach recalls and then attacks in a different direction. Reach really is going to find it hard. Actually, it's going to be hard to crack Nada's two-base structure if Reach tries to attack right now. But the question is whether Reach can prevent Nada from picking up a third. And that will be the great weak point for Nada, basically. When Nada tries to move out and set up a defense to pick up that bottom left base, Reach's probes being retarded. There we go. And now they're mining again, I hope. Reach moving forward here with his forces. Nada's got kind of a grouped together force there. Interesting enough, he's not put them in the front of his base. His front of his base is covered by just a few tanks. And basically this game has been very quiet so far. It's kind of interesting, considering both players are relatively more prone to go for faster builds. And it's been relatively quiet. Both players, I guess, just respect one another, not going to go for any kind of cheese. And really, I think that's the correct thing. Against actually one of the modern players, you might decide to go for a cheese build, some kind of a one-base build, tech build, because they might not be able to react properly to an unorthodox build. But against Nada, who is also so experienced, it might be best to actually go for standard builds, and vice versa for Nada against Reach. So we've seen that both players have gone for very standard builds. Nada has +1 attack, by the way. So he did get that early armory, of course another standard thing for Terran players. And now Reach is facing a pretty large army actually, and this is going to be interesting to watch. I mean, I think Reach is going to be able to hold it off because he does have ARBs, and it's going to be a bit of a shock for Nada here. Nada, of course, is only on 2 scanners also, so if Reach gets a couple of attacks off, Nada might not have the scanning necessary to stay out in the field. And Reach actually very smart here. Do you see what he's doing? He's getting DTs, so Nada wastes a couple of scans on that one DT, and then that would leave him, of course, with fewer scans to deal with the Arbiters. And Reach has actually managed to sneak around Nada's army. Nada using a scan there, as you can see. This is why Reach is sending out the DTs in order to use up the scans, and this is just absolutely brilliant. But Nada has a turret up on the bottom. This might save him here. Nada forced to scan once, and Reach moving in here with the manlots. It looks like that Nada has got half of his forces in the middle, and Reach might be able to break in and finish off the game really quickly here. Reach all over the base here with his Dragoons still mainly alive, and now, yes, Nada's natural expansion is completely breached. Reach is going to have to be able to hold off, though, against a sizable force that's going to try to close in and finish off the Dragoons. And I don't know if Reach wants to commit here. He might decide to pull back temporarily and rebuild his Zealot force. and then go in for an attack. He knows he's done more damage to Nada than he lost in forces. And no, actually, Reach is going to go right in, and I think this might be trouble for him. I don't know. We'll have to see. He doesn't have any speed lots left, and yeah, he is forced to retreat there. Attacking a Terran's natural expansion is very difficult to do without speed lots against tanks. And Reach, meanwhile, looks like he's expanding at the upper left. Nada has chosen the middle of the map, interesting enough. I think maybe Terrans can get away with that because it's on high ground, but it's still a rather risky proposal to try to take the center there, because now effectively Nada is surrounded. Of course, Reach has been spotted at the upper left, and Nada might decide to attack there, but I think Reach has got that covered. Actually, he's actually got the top of the map here, and this is a positioning game here. So Nada has had one vulture attacking, but that's not going to do anything. And we will soon see what spell Reach decided to upgrade first for his Arbiters, whether it's Recall or Stasis. And Reach, meanwhile, moving forward here a little bit. He might be going for a Stasis. There it is. Stasis on the back two tanks. Great Stasis. That's exactly what you should do, ladies and gentlemen. Textbook. You get the tanks in the back, not the ones in the front. So these units of Reach are completely cloaked, and I'm pretty sure Nada is going to be out of mobile detection in terms of scans. So he's going to have to rely on turrets, and Reach is now over the natural expansion. Mantoss with another man stasis. That is what happens when you look into the face of Reach and you are a mere human Terran. You get stasised, basically. You're like, oh my god! Oh my god! And then you basically freeze up like those tanks do. And Nada knows it. Nada knows he is in trouble right now in this game. He's lost his third base. The Mantoss certainly securing a huge advantage in this game, picking up his fourth base here, and now picking up his forge. He's going to get some upgrades here. Of course, he wasn't able to get it because he was rushing this Arbiter tech, and it certainly looks like it's paying off. I don't know if he would have been able to do all that damage without those two very important stasises. And of course, Reach also a master of using High Templar. That's the other option, but this time he's chosen to go for the Arbiters. And it's really the small things that make this make Reach very exciting to watch. Like, for example, making those DTs, very, very nice move there to try to get a couple of scans off from Nada. And looks like we've got Reach once again in between Nada's two expansions. Reach gonna transfer probes all the way to the upper left, but he is unharassed. Nada has the center, but he needs to hold a certain number of forces there, because otherwise he'll lose it again. I begin to question whether that was the best choice. I think maybe the left side, the bottom left, where generally Terrans expand first, would have been a better choice, because look at it there. I mean, he can put up some tanks overlooking the ridge, overlooking the valley rather, leading to his natural expansion. That would cover both the bottom left and his natural, so that would become just one choke point, as opposed to now when he can be attacked from so many directions. And Reach right now is now investing the topper part of Nada's base, this city on the hill here, and it is going to be very vulnerable. This citadel, basically, the citadel of Nada, soon to become the citadel of Abdun, of the man. The Isle of Man, Manchester. And there we go. Reach right now just continue to destroy mines in all directions. Really siege warfare here. He's going to try to close in from all directions and then make a final assault and finish off the center. On the other hand, he could also just fake an assault and then go right for the front. And we'll see what happens. Nada with +1/+1. He does have an advantage in upgrades. Reach still at 0-0. And Reach, though, knows that he has an advantage. He has 4 bases. Nada has not harmed his economy at all, whereas Reach has done